Good morning. Good morning. My name is Rick Noda. Noda again. There it is, Rick Noda. I am the founder of T3 Body and the host of T3 Talks, where we tighten, tactical, and transition. Well, this week we're talking about change, you guys, and I will tell you that if you saw my last two podcasts, you guys know that I'm bald-headed, and one of the reasons I'm bald-headed is that I embrace the change, and it's a drastic change, you guys. But in the last two podcasts, I talked about how change is a good thing. All right. Well, let's talk about how change could be not so good. All right. Now, I feel that when change could be not so good is when we take on too much stuff and we don't use that acronym SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, target. Let me give you an example of changing too much. All right, well, what I'm going to do on Monday is, you know what? I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to totally not eat any sugar. I'm not going to eat any alcohol. You know what? I'm going to make sure that I go to bed early. I'm going to make sure I change, my friends that I'm going to talk to. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to change the way You see, I mean, that's like taking the intensity of a workout and just throwing it in your life, and just trying to change too many things. Now, those of you guys know I'm very hyper, and those are the ways I used to think about change, is that you should be able to change all those things at once. Well, as you guys well know, and you've had trial and error, we fail at maybe, let's say we said 10 things. We fail at 5 of the things that we said because we just put too much on the plate. So what I usually say is, if you're going to like brain dump or throw up all over yourself and start to discuss, the 10 things you need to change, all right, write them down. And then after you write them down, then go back and put a number from 1 to 5 on which ones are more important. And then you'll see which ones out of those 10 rank as the top 3. Then after the top 3, and you've got those top 3, you work on one at a time for 4 weeks. So that's, again, you pair out everything. Oh my God, I want to change this. I want to change this. Blah, 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 blah. And then you rank them. And once you've ranked them, then you go ahead and you pare it down to 3, and then you work each one for 4 weeks. So, for example, when I gave up no GMOs, that was one of the things that I did, was no product that had any growth hormone in it. No GMO growth. So what I had to do was make sure I read more labels, make sure that, my family knew that none of the food I wanted to eat had GMOs in it, all right? I had to go back into my cupboards and look at food that I had that I may have purchased prior to this to get that out of there so I don't have temptation, or, in what I like to say, the ability to sabotage myself, because I had food that's right there that's going to do that could make me break or reduce that change. Now, that works great for 4 weeks. Then once I remove that GMO, meaning that maybe I missed 1 or 2 times within that 4 weeks, then I'm like, hey, I'm great to move on. But guess what? If you fail miserably within that 4 weeks, guess what? Repeat. Do it again. Why? You're not moving on because you didn't master it. That was one of the things that a lot of people forget is, well, I'll just move on to the next thing. No, because that's, consistency. Consistency helps with change, all right? So when you change, let's say, your no GMOs in your diet, then the next thing should be easier because it should build off of that. So, for example, I built off of no soy. So I went and said, okay, I'm going to watch all the products that have soy in it, and I'm not going to ingest them. I'm going to tell you guys that was actually more challenging than the GMO thing because there's soy in everything. And you guys, if you read the studies on what soy does to your body, you'll read 3 studies and it will give you enough motivation just to try to take it out of your body. And again, soy is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. It's the overexposure of soy that we do. In the United States and America, we don't just do things one speed. We do it freaking all out every single time. We find something that's cheap and can fill in our products. Guess what? It's in everything we own. All right? That in I think it's like hypoglycemic something series 9. There's another, I'm going to get the right thing for it. There's there's a chemical that's in almost every freaking thing I've ever read, and it's one of those things that's a hypoglycemic thing, and it's a sugar is what it is. It's just, I'm going to get the name for us on this next one. But change. So Either we change something drastic like our hair to remind us of what we're doing, then we create a list of things that we want to change, then we categorize them into a top 3, and then we work on them for 4 weeks. If we've mastered that, then we move on to the next. Now, do these items have to be food related? Can these items be personality traits? If you're a dick, you know you're a dick. How do I become less of a dick? How am I less of a douchebag? All right? We talked about how to be a better human. That's a nice thing we can change, all right? We can change that, have a little bit more empathy, all right? The other thing that I like to do in using the word change is change the things that you say you're bad at. And I'll give you this example. My producer, his name is Esteban. I've got Armando in the other room. I've got Ben and I got Barbara. I used to say, I don't like to remember anybody's name. You know what that meant was for me? I just didn't give a fuck about you, pretty much, and I didn't think that you're going to be a valid part of my life, so I wasn't going to worry about learning your name. That's the real unfiltered version of that, you guys. Truly saying. You know what I would tell you? I'm bad with names. See the difference? So I changed that, and I said, you know what? No, I'm a dick. Because you know what? I don't want to learn people's names. Everybody has an impact in my life. So when I'm at the Starbucks or whatever and I ask the girl her name, the next time I go in, I try to say, hello, Janet. Hello, Susan. Because you know what? I'm trying to change that I'm less of a douchebag. All right? It's just one of those things. Now, if you're saying to yourself right now, well, I'm not a douchebag, you are. You are a douchebag. All right, because I am an alcoholic, and I can admit that I'm an alcoholic, and that's the first thing of knowing that you are something is the ability to admit that you're that person. Now, last thing that I want to talk about is what the Marine Corps showed me about change. I often rate myself when we talk about proficiency, how you're proficient in your life, and your conduct is basically how you conduct yourself in a professional or non-professional manner. We use a rating system of 0.0 to 5.0. In the military, and especially in the Marines, they said nobody is a 5.0. Well, correction, the only time you're a 5.0 is when you're dead looking up at a pine box. That's the only time you're perfect because everything else is, can't go wrong there, right? You're not breathing, okay? Well, I like to look at myself as and on my proficiency and in my conduct on that high point of 5.0, usually right around a 3.5. This year, I will tell you that I teetered and tottered around a 3.2 most of the year, and right now I'm trying to push for my excellence of change, of using my planner to develop some other things, using my planner to reduce my anger, reducing my planner to open lines of communication and be a better mentor, so that by the end of this year, that from 8, 9, 10, and the 12th of this year, I finish on a proficiency and conduct of a 3.5. That means I'm less of a douche. That means I'm more focused on what I'm doing, and I'm having the ability to still get closer to that 5.0, which means I'm getting closer to when I'm dying, pretty much, all right? You guys, so is that a high standard? Is that tough? It may be for some, but can I tell you something right now? If you don't set the high standard for yourself and you don't set that purpose, who will? All right, if the guy and your boss is trying to send it, then I'll be honest with you whatsoever, then you're not working hard enough for you, because that's why I say, boom, our motivation will inspire you to be better. I'll see you guys next week or tomorrow. Crazy. T3 Body, you guys, is a company and a fitness company that really talks about the complete athlete. When I talk about our motivation inspires you to be better, all right, as a non-for-profit that supports military veterans that suffer from mental health issues, I really enjoy the support you guys are giving me here on YouTube. But again, I am seeking clients on my T3 Body. So if you go ahead and take a look at my website, understand that the intimacy of getting to know you starts with just 30 minutes of motivation. So you go on there, you sign up for one of those, you get a one-on-one remote talk with me just like this. Then I encourage you to go and look at one of my training plans, download a 4 to 8 week training plan, and really kind of just test your body, test yourself and just really start to get yourself ready to then do the next thing is where you get 4 or 5 of your friends together and dare yourself to be better. Where there you have a little bit more of my information along with my training plan. You get some remote sessions with me regardless of where you're at. You notice if you're watching me on YouTube right now, you can hear my voice and I can train you, all right? And that 45-day dare is a great way to just see and challenge yourself to really do the final thing is become a member. Being a member with me is a commitment, and it's made for just an elite amount of people. So when I talk about membership here, I really talk about a really elite group of individuals who really understand our core values of God, country, family, and really live by and have really adopted where our motivation inspires them to be better. So I wanted to touch on that, you guys, and really use that so that individuals like yourself who are getting better and inspiring others that understand that, you know what, we do need your support to keep everything going.